Have you ever felt too small, too young, or just not strong enough to face a giant problem in your life? Maybe it's a tough exam, a challenge at work, or just something that feels totally overwhelming. Well, I want to tell you a story about a young boy who faced a literal giant, and it might just change the way you see your own giants. This is the story of David. He wasn't a king or a famous warrior, not yet anyway. He was a shepherd boy, the youngest of his brothers. His job was to watch over his family's sheep. While his older brothers were out being soldiers, David was in the fields, probably playing his harp, practicing with his slingshot, and just being a kid. But here's the thing about David. While he was out there, he was building a deep, unshakable trust in God. He learned that God was with him, whether he was protecting his flock from a lion or a bear. Meanwhile, the whole nation of Israel was in a state of panic. Their army was facing off against their enemies, the Philistines. And among the Philistines was a champion like no one had ever seen. His name was Goliath. This guy was a real-life giant, over 9 feet tall. He was covered head to toe in heavy bronze armor and carried a spear so massive it looked like a weaver's beam. Every morning and every evening for 40 days, Goliath would come out and mock the Israelite army. He'd shout, "Send out your best men to fight me. If he wins, we'll be your servants. But if I win, you'll be ours." Every single soldier in Israel's army was terrified. Even the king Saul didn't know what to do. They saw this giant, heard his threats, and were paralyzed by fear. They forgot about all the times God had helped them before. Their giant problem was so big, it blocked out everything else. One day, David's father sent him to the army camp to bring food to his brothers and check on them. When David arrived, he heard Goliath's taunts and saw the fear in the soldiers' eyes. But David saw something different. He didn't just see a giant, he saw someone defying the God he trusted so deeply. He was shocked. He asked, "Who is this guy to defy the armies of the living God?" David's older brother got angry, telling him to go back to his sheep. But David knew he had to do something. He went to King Saul and said, "Let no one lose heart. I will go and fight this Philistine." King Saul looked at this young shepherd boy and said, "You can't. You're just a kid, and he's been a warrior since he was young." But David had an answer ready. He told Saul about the times he had fought off a lion and a bear to protect his sheep. He said, "The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." He wasn't trusting in his own strength. He was pointing to God's track record. His confidence came from his faith. Saul was convinced. He tried to put his own royal armor on David, but it was too big and heavy. David wasn't used to it. He took it off and decided to face the giant his own way. He walked down to a nearby stream, picked up 5 smooth stones, put them in his shepherd's bag, and with his trusty slingshot in hand, he went out to meet Goliath. When Goliath saw this young boy coming toward him with a staff and a sling, he was insulted. He roared, "Am I a dog, that you come at me with sticks?" But David's reply is one of the most powerful lines in history. He shouted back, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel." David put a stone in his sling, swung it around, and let it fly. That one single stone soared through the air and struck Goliath right in the forehead. The giant, the one who had terrified an entire army for 40 days, collapsed face down on the ground. David, the shepherd boy, had defeated the giant. So, what's the lesson for us? We all have giants in our lives. They might not be 9 feet tall, but they can feel just as intimidating. It could be an addiction, a fear of failure, a broken relationship, or a huge project that seems impossible. It is easy to focus on the size of the giant and forget the size of our God. David's story teaches us that it's not about our size, our strength, or our experience. It's about where we place our trust. David didn't see himself as a small boy against a big giant. He saw the situation as a big God against a small giant. That shift in perspective changes everything. When we face our giants with faith, we're not fighting alone. We can face them with the same courage David did, knowing that the same God who was with him is with us today. So next time you feel small, remember the shepherd boy and his 5 smooth stones. Your faith might just be the stone you need to take down your giant. Thanks so much for watching. If this story encouraged you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that inspires. See you in the next one.